What's up, my bearded bros? Bearded Maniac here. February 24th NBA game picks and spread predictions. Feeling a little under the weather, but we push through, we win, and that's what we do. First game today, we have the Orlando Tankers versus the Philadelphia 76ers, as you can see on the screen. It's sad to think that a Magic team that had as much big man talent as it did at the beginning of the year is probably going to finish the season under 20 wins, which that's a very likely possibility, especially if they're tanking. 76ers by 9.5, they're favored. I'm going to pick them to win and cover. It shouldn't be close, especially with Embiid. Celtics, Knicks. The spread has the Knicks favored by 1, but I'm not going to consider them favorited because the BPI has them at a 59% chance to lose. Celtics played a great game last night, and I'm going to pick the Celtics to win. It may be a back-to-back, which would give the Knicks not necessarily an advantage, but gives them an extra dimension, I should say. One where they should come out with more energy, at least to start. But it's all about how you finish, and nobody finishes better than the Celtics lately. Well, minus their losing streak. But we won't talk about that. And yeah, the Grizzlies at the Heat. The Heat should win this one. The spread has them favored by 1. They should win and cover. You have the Thunder at the Warriors. Warriors favored by 9.5 in this one. This game's on ABC at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. I'm going to try to watch this game because this could be a potential playoff preview. The 3Ps, tongue twister, goddamn. Now, this game's interesting because it could honestly go either way. The Warriors did struggle before the All-Star break, but even though the Thunder beat the Warriors earlier in the year, I'm going to pick the Warriors to win, favored by 9.5. And I think the Warriors win, but I think it will be closer than that. I'm actually thinking it's going to be roughly a 3 or 4 point game, but it should be good either way. And then you have the Bulls at the Timberwolves. Devastating injury to Jimmy Butler last night. It is going to seriously hurt the Timberwolves moving forward and could potentially cost them one of the at least one of the higher spots in the playoffs. And depending on how bad it is, because he plays such an important position for them, especially defensively, it could knock the Timberwolves down to the 6th or 7th seed. But hopes up. It could be a minor injury and he could be back. So I'm hoping for that because they're going to need him for the playoffs. It's tough. I kind of want to pick the Bulls in this one, but I just don't think the Bulls have enough talent. But if they do win, it's going to be Chris Dunn and Markkanen who carry them. They both had a decent All-Star weekend. Then you have the Trailblazers at the Suns. Trailblazers should win this one. The spread has the Suns favored by 1, which makes me think the odds makers are a little bit stoned right now. The spread has the Suns favored by 1, but I'm still picking the Blazers. BPI has them at an over 70% chance of winning. That should be interesting there. And then you got some decent games, I should say. And by decent, I mean you get to watch some good young talent. You got Mitchell versus Smith Jr. with the Mavericks going to Utah to take on the Jazz. Spread has the Jazz favored by 1 in this one. They should win and cover. They had an 11-game win streak, I believe, before the All-Star break. They got snapped first game back, but they played decent. I like Gobert. I wish. No, I'm not gonna say I wish he would expand his range. He's fine where he is now. He's a classic big man. He plays great defense, has great length. I just wish he'd improve his free throw shooting, like most big men, like Dwight Howard and Shaquille O'Neal and them. You kind of wish it would happen, but it never happens. Scandals galore. I'm just gonna talk about this a little bit, not too much. The sexual assault allegations against one of the previous Maverick employees. Mark Cuban's comments about the Mavericks just tanking. I don't know how you can pick against the Jazz with the situation that the Dallas Mavericks are going through. Now, if this was a more, I'm not going to say relevant sport, but if this was a more extreme scenario, maybe something happens to Cuban more than just a fine. But to me, what he said, where he thought the Mavericks should tank, and he's the owner, it's no different to me than the 76ers repeatedly for years saying trust the process which basically meant we're going to make ourselves as bad as we can for as long as we can until we have so much talent that we can actually start trying to be good. Because over the last few years, they had good talent in Embiid, who got hurt, quote unquote, Simmons, who got hurt, quote unquote, until they had Markelle Fultz again. It's just suspicious what they did. It's a process, and they don't get fined, but as soon as Cuban says anything about tanking, he gets like a six-figure fine. It's just interesting how the NBA works like that. And then last game, 10 p.m., we got the Lakers, who are coming off a good win in their last game, going to Sacramento to take on the Kings. Both teams under 500. Lakers far more under 500 than I thought they'd be at this point in the year at 24 and 34. Kings are 18 and 40. So I don't want to say the Lakers are dead in the water. Well, a couple of teams could collapse. I'd say the Lakers' chances of making the playoffs are literally probably about 1% or less. But it is kind of interesting to see two old teammates not playing, which they could have. I mean, you got Iman Shumpert and Channing Frye, who used to be with the Cavaliers, but now they're both out today. It's about a 50-50 game spread. Has the Sacramento Kings favored by 1. I think the Lakers should win this one. It should be a close game. One thing both these teams struggle with, at least as of late, is consistency in the paint, consistency at the 3, consistency at the free throw line. And it's amazing if you think about it that these players, these NBA players, the difference sometimes between an amazing team and a really good team like the Rockets compared to, like, let's say, a team like the Kings or Lakers is consistency. The Rockets consistently shoot well from the 3. They consistently shoot well from the free throw line. They consistently shoot well in the paint. And look at them, the NBA's best record. It's a funny thing what consistency can do for you. Now, anyway, guys, let me know in the comment section down below. Sorry for taking up too much of your time. Let me know who you think is going to get upset tonight. Let me know what you think personally. Comment question of the day. How bad do you think Jimmy Butler's injury is? And depending on how bad it is, how long do you think he'll be out? And how will it affect the season for the Minnesota Timberwolves? To me, it could be season ending for the Timberwolves if he's out for the year. And by that, I mean they don't stand much of a chance in the playoffs, to me, without Jimmy Butler. I mean, they have Karl Anthony Towns, but his defense is kind of about as existent as James Harden's. Now, anyways, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.